Okay, it's August 15th, 2016. I just got home from work. It's around 7:30 at night. Today, the Coopers, Jim and his lovely family, were kind enough to meet me in New Jersey. They were passing through to deliver the David Mirabile, Tanto or WAKIZASHI, whatever you want to call it. It's up to you. I don't care. There's a work in progress thread on Blades Forum, and I will put a link to the description of this video. I will put a link to the thread in there. So far it's like 16,000 hits. It was a work in progress. If you guys don't know who David Mirabile is, if you're just coming across this on YouTube, David Mirabile is an Alaskan bladesmith that is a dear friend of mine. He is awesome in every way. Him and I have been good friends for many years. We've discussed a lot of different things that we both enjoy about cutlery. David has come up with a very raw, organic, powerful, Japanese themed style blade that he's forging and making right now. This is an example of an exercise that him and I discussed for years. It is a big Tanto or a small Wakizashi on steroids. This piece is a blend of the best of the old with the best of the new. This is going to be an unboxing video. I just received the sword from the lovely Coopers, the very nice family. Jim does such a credit to the world of knives that it cannot be stated loudly enough. Thank you, Jim Cooper, and thanks to his whole family. They all work together. They do a great job, and they're just make you proud to be part of a community like they are. Back to David. David has a very organic, visceral sense of what I believe were the best of the Japanese blades, coming from the era where they were most heavily involved with their civil wars. These are not the show pieces of later years. These are combat blades with a flair that only David can do it. These are not traditional. They have some traditional construction, but they are far from a traditional Japanese blade. They are a modern adaptation done on a Japanese theme. David did studying and came up with his own genre of blade that is so impressive. This is a test blade done for full house cutting, self-defense. This is a modern samurai or Ronin's, call it what you will, but it's a weapon. It's made for nothing else but that. It is going to go through a lot of extensive cut testing. I won't be doing any cut testing today. Again, I'm just unboxing it. I had a motorcycle wreck a few weeks back. You see my skin's just growing back on both sides. So I tweaked my shoulder. Up cuts are going to be kind of difficult until I mend up a little bit, but I have the targets in. I'm going to soak them. And in the next week to 10 days, hopefully my shoulder's up to the task, and we're going to be doing a lot of cutting with this blade. I wanted this blade from David as an exercise for my own self. I haven't kept up with my Ieto or any of my basic sword practice in a lot of years. Only been doing a little bit of test cutting to test blades. This blade is hopefully going to center and focus me and get me back into a place where I need to be in my life. But on with David. David packages these things like they're coming from Alaska, because they are coming from Alaska. We have a nickname for these. They're called the Whale, and I won't add the rest of it, but it's a big white tube. Dave, of course, Jim has opened this already to take the pictures of this blade. So it would normally have more tape on it, but just to be quick with this, I'm going to have to pause the video because it'll be too long to do this. David screws the entire cap on. So I'm going to pause the video and come right back while I get the cap off. Okay, it took me about 5 minutes to unscrew all these screws. David packages these extremely well. Directs you which side he wants open. So I'm excited. I mean, I've been waiting for this blade for well over a year. God. So I have not seen anything except pictures of this piece. One thing nice is David takes the time to pack them as much as most makers take the time to make a sheath. So it's kind of funny. But this is a big moment for me. I'm really stoked about this piece. This is a long love of the Japanese style blades being basically narrowed down to what I believe is a modern day adaptation of the ultimate combat blade. So again, very exciting for me. And this is my first time actually I mean, the first thing that hits you is, like Coop said in his post, what a nasty feeling weapon. The Saya looks like you could basically use it as a club, even though it's far from heavy, but just stout, thick, strong, just incredibly, just the amount of work that goes into doing, just if you don't know what it is, for people just finding it on YouTube, this is a wood core Saya scabbard that is covered in carbon fiber with carbon fiber mounts and hardware on it. The Suba is forged iron that was taken from an old mine in Alaska. The blade on this piece was from an old axle off a piece of equipment in the mine shaft. The Suka, the handle, is again a wood core with a carbon fiber wrap. Then it has carbon fiber Ito, which is the cordage that goes around the grip. It's got ivory manuki, which is the raised decorative, or more decoration, but I like them for actually giving me a palm swell and an indexing place. And it's got a titanium makugi. Ivory manuki, all the koshira and everything are carbon. It's awesome. Now you can feel the way David has it, that you have to take your thumb. This would be controlling it when you're carrying it, but all you do is take your thumb and a push, and it breaks it. Wow. Now, I don't know if you can see this size-wise. I'm going to set the Saya down. Again, this is my first time handling it. He left a rough textured spine in the spirit of a user piece. He has a copper habaki that is patinaed, that is just exquisite. The blade in hand is so much broader than from any picture. The handle shape, the Suka, the handle, they're hourglass shaped. This is an adaptation that David designed so that when the blade's in your hand and it's just really indexes well, your hand chokes into it extremely well. I mean, all honesty, it's a nasty, nasty weapon. And it's just got an ancient look. If you look back at Japanese blades through the history, in later years they were more embellished. In the years they were predominantly really using them on the battlefield. What I saw is that they're built for use. They're built for battlefield conditions. And this blade really tries to follow that. The handle is big enough that you could get two-hand purchase on it easily for any type of, if you really need to swing it that hard. Primarily this is meant to be used with one hand. It's exquisite. I can see it's showing a very nice temper line. It's misty. This blade was not arc polished. The temper line came out from David's clay tempering, where he did coat the blade in clay to get a differentially hardened blade. I don't know if you could pick it up in the camera. I hope you can. And as you see where the temper line's at, it's perfectly, it doesn't come near the edge, it doesn't come near the spine, it's right where it should be. The tip is fine, but not a needle, so it won't be fragile. I haven't even played with the edge, but it's, as usual, it's scary sharp. I mean, this is just, I have a lot of swords. I've collected them since I was young. And honestly, the way this blade came out is exceptional. This is my finest, finest piece in this genre for sure. I'm kind of set back by it all. It's so awesome. David, I'm so touched and so thankful. I love you, dude, for making this for me. I mean, I've wanted a piece like this for as long as I can remember, and I'm talking about as a little kid. It is that good. I'm kind of speechless. It's so awesome. I mean, it's just the Sori, which is the curvature, for me is just perfect. The way the handle kicks off the blade is perfect. Everything about this blade, I don't know where this guy from Alaska, Matt Diskett and I were talking, where this guy from Alaska got this thing going that he just understands the way these things should work and the way these blades should feel and perform. They're so robust, they're so powerful. I don't want to make this a crazy long video. I just want to thank David. I want to thank Jim Cooper for the beautiful photos he did. There's going to be a lot on this blade. You're going to see me get back into using this type of blade. You're going to see what this type of blade can do on targets. This is not a collector blade for me. This is a blade from a brother given to me to test and use and pass back the knowledge I get and garner from it, so David can incorporate it more in his work. It'll never be for sale. It's a cherished piece between two very good friends, and I love you. Thank you, Dave. It's David hates to be called Dave, but thank you, Dave. I love it, man. It's so awesome. I'm kind of just set back by it. So there'll be a lot more. Thank you. Thank you all for following the thread, and thanks for looking. Really appreciate it. And the Saya is just, honestly, this is a weapon in itself. It's just incredible. Incredible. Just perfection. Just so if you've never seen the way these blades are used, you have to cut down the Sigeo, but you simply slide the blade in. There's a number of things you can do with that. We're just gonna get out of the way right now. This is the way the blade carries. You basically, and it's just awesome. Just totally awesome. Thank you for looking, appreciate it. David Mirabile, Tanto, WAKIZASHI, Japanese inspired piece of war. Thank you. By the way, I just wanted to show the trainer for this piece. Now, this was an oak boken that I had broken years ago. And I had cut it down and then shortened the handle. And this is an awesome, David got so close with, I believe, is the perfect size, modern day, battle blade. And I had cut the handle down and cut the blade down. And again, this is how close they came out. So, I mean, for a masterpiece like this, you need a good training blade. And that's what this is. So again, is that not awesome or what? Thank you.